All right, class. I'm going to show you. I know some of you may feel more familiar with Illustrator than others, but I wanted to show you how to set up your Illustrator file so you can use your sketches to, guide your final logo making in Illustrator. So I'm going to open up Illustrator. I'm going to create a brand new document. Um, I'm going to keep it pretty standard. So I'll keep the orientation portrait. One artboard should be fine. All of these default settings are good. And I'm going to hit, almost forgot for print. Everything else, make sure this is inches. Artboard. Perfect. And hit create. All right, so here is my brand new Illustrator file. I'm gonna save this on my desktop. Make sure the format is EPS, okay, like your other files. And I'm going to name it logo. Here. I'm gonna hit save. Everyone else, I believe if you've gone this far, right? We've seen this menu item before. If you're working in 2020, which most of everyone is, you can keep that the same. If you're not, you can adjust to your Illustrator version. I'm going to hit OK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sketches. So this will apply to any of your sketch images, the photos that you took. And I'm going to go File, Place. I had downloaded my sketches, so I'm working on my logo. Okay, and I'm going to place it. So I'm zooming out, Command minus. And for our demo purposes, I want to actually focus on this logo right here. So this is perfect. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And as you can see, since it's just my sketches and all I really care about is this particular logo, I am not going to resize it. I'm just going to keep it like that. What I am going to do is here in my layers, I'm going to lock this layer so I can't move it around. And I'm going to create a brand new one, brand new layer. Okay. And I had chosen my typeface. So I'm actually using Futura personally. And so I thought of my color scheme and I have an idea. It's going to be not a perfect square actually, but I'm going to have that C inside. Okay, so as long as you have a plan in your head for what you're going to do, you should be good to start. Depends on how complicated, your logo is. Like, obviously for your sketches, I know a lot of you guys had varying degrees of, ideas. So depending on which one is the one that you want to choose. If you have two, I know some of you also had two that you were debating on. Try both. It shouldn't take you very long, depending on how you want to approach it. So, for my purposes here, I'm going simpler so you guys have more time to work. And I'm going to get my pen tool. Before I start tracing with the pen tool, I'm going to make sure that there is no fill. And I like actually using a color so I can see it instead of black. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I am gonna start off. If you have a basic shape, this is what I was just debating in my head. I've got my square, right? I don't want a perfect square, but I can use that basic shape and then adjust that shape. I'm going to turn this off so you can see it, right? Nothing crazy, it's just a square. I didn't want it to be a super perfect square. Actually, I kind of like the quirkiness of the different tilt. So I'm going to go to my direct selection tool, and I'm going to select this point. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And this one, I wanted to bring it up. Okay, so this is very similar to when you created outlines in Illustrator and you were using the manipulation of type, right? You were using the white arrow tool to distort the different points. So I'm basically doing that. All right. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to swap it. Perfect. Okay. Just so I can see it. And I had chosen, when I was thinking about my logo, I wanted to use Futura. So I'm going to look for Futura. I am super excited because I wanted to do the bold. So I'm going to make this kind of big. I'm gonna change this to demi. Okay, so I've got my basic C, like to create my logo now. For some of you, you guys might be tracing a custom shape, right? So I'll show you how that could work too. This is if you actually just want to use a letter form. So then I pick this to start and I can create outlines. And I can bring it in. You can use that to start. As you can see, it's not as fun as I thought it would be. So I am going to trace my C. Okay, so I'm going to get my pen tool and start. And make sure that my stroke is there. I kind of like that little accent on the top of that C. Clicking and dragging when I want to curve. It's okay if it isn't perfect at the moment because I can fix it later. But my objective is to get kind of like the basic shape. I'm going to change direction. Okay. sure I always close it. I don't think it's perfect, but that's okay. So if it's close, I think it's close. So I can adjust some of these angles without having to redraw by getting this white arrow tool. I can select the points that I want to fix. So it's kind of smoother. Right? Oh, my little quirky C. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out really quick. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. So it's a little bit more upright. Perfect. Okay, so my idea for my final logo was I'm going to have these colorful squares, and I'm going to have the C in white. And my C is going to change colors according to my color palette. And as you can see, I can create a compound shape. But I'm going to save this for now, right? So don't forget to save. I'm gonna select this, copy and paste it. And so in order for me to save myself the hassle of changing, of having to go back and make different versions of it, because I know that I'm going to be having it on different colored backgrounds, I'm going to make this a compound path, right? Where it looks like it's see-through, and it is see-through. So I'm selecting both shapes, this and this. I'm selecting that, click, I'm holding my shift key, I'm selecting both. I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path Make, right? So now it is a compound path, and I can make it different colors. So this is my main logo mark. And part of my identity, I wanted something that was kind of flexible in the sense of like I can change the color. I can give it a little bit of personality by changing the tilt depending on the situation. And so I'm going to try and work all that out right in my Illustrator file. So my logo mark is also going to be paired up with a typeface. And for this mark, I decided that my typeface is going to be Futura. So I'm going to do that in InDesign. But the main thing is to actually have my logo mark, which I created. Okay, and I'm going to have it in black. And I'm going to save this, right? So in setting up your file, make sure you have your sketching layer. Like you can place your sketch on its own layer, lock it, create a brand new layer, and then you can draw right on top of it, right? And this will allow you the flexibility of knowing where your sketches is. So if you change your mind, you can always go back, but you can adjust the colors. You can see how I wanted one thing and I changed it, So depending on what your sketch looks like, the idea is to vectorize that sketch so it's now digital. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you save your files, make sure you remember where you saved it. And then I'm going to set this aside so you can see how we use it in our final assignment, like in our final layouts for your business card and letterhead. All right, so I'll save this and then next video.